Listen, that just messed up on me before. I can't be sure. I had to check. Hello, and welcome. I'm Nick, and welcome back to another DooM WAD Travelogue. This is a show where we say, even though it's maybe not the best idea to be going outside right now, that doesn't mean we can't explore new and interesting spaces. We're just doing it in the form of community-built DooM WADs, level sets, interesting levels. Top of the show, before I get on to anything else, I do want to mention that coming up in just a couple of days, over 2 weeks from now, I am doing my Extra Life stream. If you don't know what Extra Life is, it is a sort of marathon live stream. I'm going to play games for 24 hours. Last year I did it 24 straight. This year I'm doing it 2 sets of 12 hours back to back over the weekend. But I and a bunch of other people get together, play games for 24 hours straight. We raise money while it's going on. All of the money goes to support local children's hospitals. I need to come up with a script for these by the time the stream actually gets here. Miracle Network Children's Hospitals. So it's a great cause. It is good work that can be done by playing video games, so that's pretty much exactly what I want to be in for. So November 7th and 8th, that's the second weekend of November. That's after the election, so I'll see you all there on the other side. Come by on Saturday night, Saturday afternoon, sort of evening-ish, 5 to... I don't have the numbers completely set yet, but I think somewhere around the 5 o'clock, after work hours on Saturday. Who does that? Plenty of people work really hard. I went to a deli today. All the people behind the counter, wonderful. Support your local retail workers. They're probably working. Holy cow. Saturday night, come by for that stream. We're going to have audience participation block. Right now I have lined up Rocket League went free to play. I hope to see people there, and we'll get some matches in. And also, we did Jackbox last year. That worked pretty well. We're going to try doing that again, see how rowdy that gets. But that's for that. That's not today. Today we are looking at Push the Buttons. This is a WAD called the Verdant Citadel. Yes, at this point I am kind of just going through the backlog of cackle words because apparently they're already good. Why should I filter out other stuff if I know it's already good? Because you never know what you're going to find the interesting stuff. I just reminded myself of something that I got to go look up. Let's see if I can write it down and talk at the same time. I can't. Remar maps. That's a spoiler if you were just listening. What? I didn't even have caffeine today. This is a map that, to my understanding, is a WAD that's a single map that's very non-linear, so it's going to be more exploring. In my mind, it's a castle on an island, so in my mind, I'm expecting something kind of, not Risk, Mist? Something kind of like Mist. So let's jump into it. I want to do it with this one. Here's the sound. That's not the key I wanted, folks. Folks, what's going on today? Now I'm down here. This is a new camera. I don't know how it makes me look down here. Sound off in the chat or in the comments, all right, go. Right. For those of you new to the stream, we're playing the easiest level because we're here for the exploration, not for the challenge. And if easy is still too hard, I have no problem jumping into God mode or no clip or whatever we need to push through and see more. You know what? This is a really pretty start screen. This is a good angle. This is a good composition. Wonderful skybox. We have castle here, obviously the path to go. We have castle over there with something moving in it, so that's going to be, we'll be there later. When I talk about windows and mechanical foreshadowing, this is exactly the kind of thing I'm talking about, and he starts on it. That's fantastic. And also just giving the... That is a very strong sound emitter right here. That threw me off. Giving us a shotgun right off the... Why was I short here? Giving us a shotgun right off the bat to say, hey, this is the gun you use anyway. Like, this is sort of the neutral that you want to be at. A lot of maps you do a little bit with the pistol before getting a shotgun like this. Usually you face at least one sergeant, and that's usually the very first step on your power curve for a Doom level. But this guy's saying, like, nah, just have the shotgun. This is gonna be what we're doing. All right. Nice open air. Like, yes, it's on an island. I'll take it. I'll take whatever that means. Okay. Now we get the armor. Oh. Hey, that's nice. Really quiet until your first shot. That's a good detail. What are these? I think that's just a mushroom. Okay, so this is a nice little room that we... Oh, I didn't even notice that we went... I mean, I kind of noticed that we went under a bridge, but... Hey, bridge. Oh, I really want to know how complex it is to make these. Not because, like... I am a pretty big fan of Doom as a flat architecture. Like, I like that constraint, but I'm just more really curious, what does it take to create like when I see something like this, today's age, you know, since Quake, this has been nominal. This has been, you know, it's just a part of it. It's just easy. The harder part is thinking of doing it than thinking how to do it. But doing Doom maps, man, I don't know. Is this... How easy is that to do in these days? Or is every bridge actually as awe-inspiring as I currently think it is? I'm gonna guess Triple X blows up. Okay, good to know. But this whole little tower as our little entryway, it's a path that we wrap around it, and then we're coming down and through it. That's just a nice little... kind of like the first smallest island is our beginning of our scenic route. Oh, hey, y'all. This is a really nice bridge. Like, this is... like, it's kind of a bridge just to be like a pathway to connect us to the rest, to set this starter island apart from the main of it. This is our entryway. But also using it as... now we get... oh, what is even that up there? Using it as our like, our windows. So now we're still seeing that over there, which we already saw. We think we're going to get to. Oh, I wonder if we can get down there. I wonder if we can get up there. But also just making sure we have this nice view. And then this bridge is decorated nicely because it has this sort of like a middle... not arena, but like this little centerpiece. It didn't need it, but it has it, and it's nice. Oh, y'all are goo now. Thank you. Thank you. You're on the right, everything. Right. Okay, good. Thank you. Listen, it's already been kind of a day. Those are smaller than normal, aren't they? Okay, so it's non-linear, and this feels like the first kind of room where the room is going to be wide and complex enough to give us spaces. Okay, hang on, because I need to talk about something in a second. These are really nice God rays, I guess? Like, they look like they might... I don't think they're volumetric because they almost completely disappear here. So I think they could be like flat walk-through walls this way from how we are, this way to here. But they're really good, and they line up, and the work on this floor to make the colored the color shine of the light, and the edges are so gradual fade out. I'm just staring at window lights, but like this feels really impressive to me. Just this one little bit right here. That's a save point. I've never seen that before. It's just, I guess because it is going to be like one big level, but safe, like collectible save points mid-level. It doesn't. Let's see. Okay, what does that do? Because we play this game like save scumming, which I will do this, and I will call this redundant. Like I do quick saves all the time, but it is forethought on the author's part that they are making an extra long single level, and you know, the game only checkpoints you essentially in between levels. So they've come in and decided, like, no, I'm going to break this big level down into, you know, manageable chunks by giving you a save point and giving you an intermediate checkpoint, which is very kind of them. Red skull. Yeah, hey, this purple's not a color. Yellow and purple. Skull key. Hey, happens. Cool. So, okay. We played that one level that had the exit letters on it. I guess this is going to be a similar kind of thing. We're going to be going through 4 different sections to get the 4 different keys to leave. Also, when I say this is one big level, I don't know how big it is. I don't know if this is going to be a one-sitting WAD. As long as I don't, like, get a headache in the middle of the stream and to feel I need to end early, I'll stick this out. We'll see what this is. But you know, that's how we do. Where did you come from behind here? Also, Mancubus is like 4 rockets. I don't know what it is. Just chain gun, shotgun. Measure it in seconds of fire with the chain gun, which does sort of depend on distance because it doesn't have the best accuracy. Ha, you. I don't want to go down there quite yet because I'm not sure how to come back up. I'm not sure I know where that is. It's behind the skull room. Oh, we're going down there anyway. No, let's go this way. Let's go this way. Cool. This is a secret? I thought this was just... I thought this was going somewhere. Okay. But it's the tower hidden behind a wall inside of a different tower. I like that. Wait, do we have another way to go? I'm gonna guess that's a door that opens. This is a spot. Okay. Yeah, we're looking at is behind this. All right, hey, you know what? Let's go. Let's do it. Maybe I can theory craft all I want, but it looks like I'll go this way eventually. Might as well do it now. Or maybe this is where the branching actually starts. Oh, okay. Hey, That looks so space. So space. Compared to the sundown over there? And also, okay, If this is all space up here, where's the sun coming through to put the god rays on the other side of those windows? Okay. Yeah. Y'all are over there doing that. I would love to get over there if I could. Yes, okay. Oh, hi. These are really nice, arenas, too. Who? You? Really? I left you alone for so long, and this is how you repay me? On the day of my goddaughter's wedding? Anyway. Nice size. One piece of cover in the middle. That's all you really need. That did something, I assume. But yeah, I was about to say that the idea that, oh, hello. The idea that this is a non-linear map is just that idea of doing non-linear. Never mind any other gimmicks that you're planning on putting in your map at that point. But non-linear is hard. I feel this is kind of a oh, hey, it's the scene from the intro. Cool. I feel like this is kind of a what do you call it? One of my mostly unshared takes. Okay, and now this is back here. Cool. Shortcuts. Good. Boy, is that a Dark Souls thing? Is that a Metroid thing? Is it probably something older than that? That's where it started, but the way they're presented makes them feel different. My take is that... What take was I gonna give? What was it? Something I saw over here? Non-linear. Doing a non-linear map is hard. And like, extra, that was a good spook. It opened up on me. Games are extra hard to do non-linear because, oh, then is it sundown or are we inside a firewall? Oh, hello. I was looking at the sky. Chill out. Non-linear is hard because when you're in games, you are trying to, what do you call it? If you're building a game that has challenges, then you are trying to do you're trying to build a difficulty ramp into your levels and your scenarios and your whole game at a high level. Could you? Okay. These automatic doors, which I think are like purely... God, would you actually do that with staggered walk triggers and then every door has open and close right near them? Oh boy, that would be a headache to add those for. I would do that for like all the doors of one room, and then I think it would be too tedious for me to set up. Oh, all right, still doing okay. You're trying to set up your difficulty ramp, your challenge ramp as your level goes along. But the problem of like truly open non-linear maps is that I want it though, you can't, you basically have to flatten your difficulty curve, right? Because you don't know like you can do a difficulty curve because you. Where did y'all come from? Did something else open? Like you were able to do a difficulty curve because you say like, okay, this is the first part of the level. They will be here first. We can give them, this gun and these enemies, or these enemies reward them with this gun, and then we know in the next area they will be going in with that gun, having fought these enemies, and you level them up and say, hey, here's what the next bit is. When you're doing non-linear, you don't know which is the first and which is the second. So the two ways about it are like, okay, you can flatten everything and just say like, okay, well, any of these could be the first, so they're all going to feel about the same. They're all going to feel like first levels. Nice, we can get up here. Or you can say, but that makes for a very flat experience. At that point, you don't really have your ramp anymore. You just have a whole bunch of areas that feel like a first area, or that feel like similarly scaled areas. I'm not a fan of that because this is a secret too? What are we doing over here? Oh, because you're not necessarily supposed to recognize that you can climb up there. Okay, which means that switch is secret. I'm having trouble catching which are secrets and which are just things I'm doing, which are just normal progression. If it's non-linear, you end up having to flatten everything, and that was actually Nintendo 3DS, The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds, the one that a lot of people, to my recollection, really, really liked, and I had kind of a miserable time in it because when that's what that game did. It was like, hey, we're doing. Whoa, it's red. Touch. 250 armor. Whoa. I'm gonna save right here. But that's exactly what that game did. Is that game said, okay, we're non-linear. We don't know what order the player is going to go into. So, like, kind of everything is available up front. You can tackle everything. Everything feels like it could be. Everything felt as hard as the first level, and that whole game felt so flat to me that it was just like, it's like, no, I've lost track of where I am. I've lost track of how long I've been doing this. It's just flat. And like, they were kind of smart about it in that it's like, okay, well, here's all like the beginner version of the tools, and then the way that you're finding and upgrading, that you find the cool version of the tools, and then you have to stop buying them every time you respawn. And like, it makes sense, but I just didn't find it compelling, really. And that game just felt flat, and I was just like, why am I still doing things, playing things? There's no build. It just felt so flat and unsatisfying at the end of it. And that game is kind of like, that game made me really oh, hey, a blue key. Good. We're already somewhere. That's the game that made me really suspicious of games that go for the what do you call it? Non-linear go of it, right? Even Breath of the Wild kind of had that because it's because it was the same kind of thing. Like you never. And Breath of the Wild did it better. I could do a whole different talk about Breath of the Wild. Wow, I didn't have to push any other buttons or anything. I just grab it and save. I'm going to completely forget which is the autosave and which is my manual save, because I bet if I die, it'll load the manual save and not the autosave. Or whichever one's more recent, maybe. Depends on. It's the save icon, but depends on if it's what actual like underlying system it's using to save. Okay, that was a secret where we were before. this was the blue key. Okay, let's get out of here. I'm glad I didn't go this way first. I could do a whole different talk about Breath of the Wild and some of the ways that I think they fixed a lot of the problems with Link Between Worlds, but Link Between Worlds really made me suspicious. It was like, oh man, is Breath, before it came out, I was just like, oh, is Breath of the Wild actually gonna be another, like, even more sort of more hyped up and then just as big a disappointment. I was so worried that was going to happen, and I don't feel it did. I'll say that much for now. I don't feel it did. Or the other thing you do in nonlinear to try and get back to the point. There's still a lot going on in this level. I'll give it that. I can't break the vases. This isn't Zelda. The other thing you do with nonlinear is you have your difficulty curve, but then you still have your difficulty curve, and you end up having intended paths, you know? And I think this is very much the Dark Souls solution, right? Because, like, there's a bunch of points in Dark Souls, like, yeah, no, you could go right instead of left, but then if you go right, you don't have the right items, you don't have the right, you're just completely under leveled, you don't have the right sort of elemental magics, you haven't found, you know, like, yeah, you can go there, but you, on a technical level, you can go there, but, like, on a functional level, no, you can't go there until you go to one of the other paths that are open to you. And so it's just like, yeah, your nonlinear, but then you said, like, no, I still want my difficulty curve, and that actually turned your nonlinear back into linear, is what happens there. Let me save before I pick up this save icon, just in case it turns out I want to save differently later. Alright, give me that. And then everything opens up. Yes, this makes sense. Oh, if I kept going around... Oh, maybe I wanted to do that, because if I keep going around the outside, maybe I would have cleared out that hallway first with choke points. Because I think that's what I'm doing now, is I'm just going this way down through it, right? It's fine. Oh, yeah, it's fine. We're uneasy. There's barely anybody here. That's cool though, using the whole, like, navigation ring of the room to... Are we here already? Wait, we've been here? We've been through here. We went right and we just came back in left. Okay, so we could have gone that way. Okay, so we could have gone through the first half of the ring, gone into the middle, and the door would have opened up the second half of the ring that was on this side. That's a pretty clever way of handling it, actually, because then it made it kind of symmetric. That's a really clever use of this room, or way to construct it so that, like, it's broken up. The center, the outer ring, which has two halves, and the outer ring, which has two halves, and depending on which way you come into it, either this is your first way or this is your back way. That's clever. That's smart construction. Huh. Nice. Nice. Okay, is that decoration or is that something? I think it's decoration. Did I forget more words somewhere? I was talking about nonlinear. I was talking about Breath of the Wild. I feel fixed a lot of issues that I had with Link Between Worlds. Dark Souls. The Dark Souls way of doing it, which is like, it's quote-unquote non-linear, but actually, if you still put your difficulty curve into it, like, basically, it's a linear game, but that is, like, like kind of conceptually has sequence breaks built in, and it's just like, yeah, no, if you just want to skip this whole section and figure out how to deal with this other section, go for it. And that's fine. That one works well enough, you know, I'll be honest. Oh, hey, do you think this is that sort of outcrop pagoda we saw from the start? You think this is that finally already, maybe? It absolutely is. Cool. I told you I saw people moving around in it, even from all the way over there. And okay, that style of non-linearity, it's fine because it is still linear, and like in a lot of ways, kind of all you've done is say, okay, now we've just done like a Metroidvania again, except instead of the instead of being the lock on the door to a new area being double jump, it's your DPS or your elemental damage stat, you know, damage defense stat, you know? So it becomes like they kind of just soft lock the different areas instead of a Metroid that hard locks it through abilities. And I'll be honest, if you want to if you want to pick one of those to me, like, I prefer how explicit locking it through an ability is, because an ability you either have or you don't, but stats are much fuzzier. Stats are a much fuzzier tool to use for that purpose, because, like, you know, if the recommended stat is, you know, 50 defense and I have 40 defense, okay, so sometimes I talk about it it's one of the ways of whether you oh, that's where the key is. I like it. This is a really good scene as well, and I really do like how we see the key up there. I think this doesn't play as well as it plays pretty well as a shot, but I think it plays better that, like, we have walked down into the dead end and it's turning around that we see the reveal that the dead end has what we need in it. Or, like, on the way back, we see the thing that we came in here looking for. I'll let him walk down here and just talk a bit more. Yeah, when it's stat-based, it's fuzzy. And, like, I'm bad at making decisions on fuzzy because it's just like, I feel that, like, stats aren't real. I've never been big at JRPGs. It's like spreadsheet things, but it's just like, or it's what I was talking about. Boy, where was I talking about it? I might have been talking about it on Twitter. But, like, if you're, yeah, because I was talking about a lot of gacha games, and, you know, they make the difference between stats like, hey, this is a cakewalk, this is challenging, or this is, like, mathematically impossible. And most of them skip that middle step and they go right from, hey, you know, this level is going to be like a cakewalk, grind it for 8 years until you get what you need. Or it's, this level is mathematically impossible, go back and grind the easy levels. And that's not great. I don't have fun with that sort of difficulty curve, I'll say. But there's still sort of like that even when you have that sort of fuzziness there, it's just like, okay, well, now you're asking me, you know, it's weird, because since you have the option of grinding and fixing your stats and whatever, then it's like yeah, it kind of gives you the opportunity to find your own sweet spot, but it's also kind of saying like, well, if the game is too hard, spend more of your time. It's kind of saying just like, I didn't care, or like, I have not, you know, as the author, I have not made an intended difficulty here, or I have not made that intended difficulty clear. I'm just saying, hey, you know, right now it's impossible, and maybe if you get it to hard, you can do that, but if you want it to be easy, spend more time. And it's just like, all right, is it giving me choice, or is it disrespecting my time if I have to like keep grinding and fiddling with numbers to get to the intended experience, you know? Like, I'm not totally sure how it... Who's shooting me from up there? You two. Okay, I was wondering. I'm still not totally sure how I actually feel about that. To me, that's a question, and it's just like, I could see it as either. I don't know. Depends on my mood if I'm already ready to be angry at somebody, you know? But... Are we going into... No, we're not going in the well. He's coming out of the well. Oh, well. Ow. Do I want to go in the well? It'll go... It'll be a sewer level. I don't like a sewer level. It'll be like a lot, huh? Oh. Looking at it, the sewer level might actually get us to... Okay, there'll be like a cliffside area. That'll be cool. That'll be cool. But yeah. Also, like it. Okay, so that's the other part of it, and that's actually the part that got me about Dark Souls, which I have been told that I'm being like nitpicky about it, but I think I was talking about this last week, 2 weeks ago. I was talking about this not too long ago on this show, at least. The idea of how fair does it feel when you have to, when like the only real way to get better at a situation is to gain knowledge of it, but the only way to gain knowledge of it is to like put yourself in it and lose to it 3 times. It's just like, you know, losing is how you gain knowledge, but losing and dying and getting killed and respawning and having to trying again doesn't really feel good a lot of times. Like, trying again to do better feels good. Trying again to do it at all feels bad. Maybe that's the difference? I'm so glad he didn't fire right in my face as I gave him a 2-hour window. It's like, I'll be reloading between the hours of 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. Come by any time to shoot me. The cable guy window principle of battle tactics. Ooh, good splash. Good splash. Ooh, that's good. I like that. Little details. Okay, okay. I've seen the cells for this. Get an original cell on eBay. That's something different. Okay. What was it? What was I saying? I distracted myself with cable guy jokes. Technician team. What the? Which means that's a secret. So that made it fall down. I have to come in the other way somehow. Or I have to come in not through there. Ooh. No, I got it. Okay, okay. That was timing. It was just very tight timing. Tomorrow was here. Alright, well. He's not anymore. They're not? You know, whatever. And back out. Oh, so that took a... I can't read this map. Oh, so it does sort of flicker the map depending on the level you're on. I gotta look into that. I really gotta find out how to do that. I don't think I want to use that technique, but I just need to know what sort of effort is actually required to make it happen. What was I saying? I keep saying stuff and getting cut off. Dart. Oh, having to try again to learn. So when you do it, with that like soft stat lock style, then you know, nonlinear is the nonlinear is fake and it is sort of linear, but all they're kind of doing is hiding what that line is, and then you know what we have is a situation where once again they have hidden information from the player, and the only way to learn that is to like stick your foot in somewhere and see, okay, is this a hard time? And then which again you have to, like, you know, it is a design sense that says, hey, in order to learn, have a bad time. And maybe it's just the way I feel when I play games. I'm sure there are plenty of people who, oh, hey, that's a big boy. Did you know he was over there? Oh, and that's the last key. Oh, okay. This has felt pretty linear. I'll say that. It's also felt fine and good, and I may not finish this whole rant before I get to the end. Okay, interesting. Ow. Oh, I have a thing. But yeah, like, just show me a door with a red key on it. Just show me a ledge that is twice the height I can jump. Just, like, you know, that tells me right away that, like, yeah, you kind of could go here, but it's like, yes, this is already connected and open, you just can't access it. But it's by something a lot more, like tangible, something a lot clearer than you can't go here because your stats aren't high enough. It's double jump is much more explicit and concise than, you know, elemental defense, you know. I do want to kind of go out there now. If you look at the, oh no, those are the I'll save before I give it a shot, but we got all the keys already. Wow. Yeah, I think I finally finished saying my point on that style. See, and that's the thing. Like compared to that style of nonlinear, I'll take a Metroidvania, which is, you know, ultimately, it is ultimately linear, but they've the world that those are built in are just, oh no, that is straight up blocked. I guess we're not going out there. Maybe I'll turn on no clip and walk out there just to see before we're done today. Yeah, no, like, again, I also don't necessarily like a game where you explore a lot of dead ends until you find the one open one. Like, that's finding a dead end without any kind of reward in it is still kind of a bad time, you know? It's not as bad as, like, taking a bunch of damage and maybe dying and having to restart and have, like, have a death on your save. I forget, but the games that sort of record your deaths as part of your stats, those are... I don't know when I played my first one of those games that would do that, but that's probably what gave me this whole, like, making me lose in order to learn feels bad things come, because they said, oh yeah, no, like this is that combination of ideas of, like, you need to die in order to learn, and also we will keep track of your failures, you know. you're recorded on how few tries were necessary. So then it's just like, when you combine those two ideas and then you go like, okay, well, some amounts of tries is necessary, so some amounts of retries will be necessary, but like, you want me to minimize them, but like, I don't necessarily have any tools for gaining information other than retrying. It's like, so is my skill how much I can learn on each death? Like those two concepts of like presentation and stat tracking and just like data comparison, I guess, those two overlap in that way that I will say has kind of led me to who I am today in terms of how I feel about how games should be designed. We came out from down there, so ow. The non-linearity of no, maybe that was closest back to the key room, because we have all the key nows, so we just need to. How do we get up there is maybe the question. Oh, this is a big 2-floor room, and that's a nice broken window at the top. That's I didn't even notice that at first, but that's really nice. The way to do it is what I'm trying to talk about. The way to do it. The way to do what? The way to do nonlinearity. What I might suggest is the best way to do nonlinearity? Yeah, I think that's what I'm trying to talk about. That would be basically you need a more or less the thing that you can try to do is give your different paths, your different branches, parallel but unique difficulty curves, or give each one a different gimmick. So you can, so you still saw it? Okay. So that's actually something. What I think this level has done really well is that it this one didn't feel that non-linear, I'll admit, but I think it did do a good job of being like, there is like a different section, a different kind of experience per key. So it's like, here's the sewer section, here's the beach section, here's the upstairs, here's these rooms, and it's just right, we did have the way to get back to the front. We did get that. I forgot about that shortcut. The one shortcut, actually. But yeah, basically, there is a way to treat each level as their own, give them their own difficulty curve, right? And the way that I've been working on maps as all of their own. I want to say, okay, let me do my normal thing and talk about how I think Super Mario World is one of the best games ever made. I mean, that one's also... So a game like Doom, there's difficulty curves and there's power curves, right? Something like Super Mario World, there is a very shallow power curve, because you start small, you get a super mushroom, and then you branch into like Cape, Fire Flower... Is that really the only third-tier power-ups in the world? Because, like, in Modern ones, you would have, like, Cat Suit, you could have Tanuki Suit, you could have the weird propeller, whatever, and, you know, but, like, all of those get you back down to small, and then you go big as the medium step, and then you have a special suit, right? So you get these 3 tiers, and that is your power curve. So, like, you take one hit, and you reset the power curve, and then your next level, if it has its own difficulty curve, you can think like, okay, well then you're starting from that. But also having that shallow power curve means that like your difficulty curve, you don't kneecap it so much. In a game like Doom, if you design a level to be pistol start, but then from the previous level you enter with a the BFG, or even, you know, even if you enter with a chain gun, right? That's a level up version of the pistol. You are higher on the power curve than the level was expecting, so your difficulty curve is adjusted, right? Like it trivializes the lower end of your curve. Maybe that's okay. And so in something like Super Mario World, like, because you can only get so high in power, only, you know, some small percentage of your difficulty can ever be sort of like kneecapped and cut off like that. So it's not that big of a deal. But in Doom, it's hard to do the non-linear because like you can do your power curve so much, right? Or that might be the way to do non-linear in a game like this, is just sort of ignore the power curve. Like keep the power curve flat, which, starting with the shotgun, that's the way you do that. Skip the lower end and then never give anything too high. Like, we have the plasma, we have the rocket, we got the chain gun kind of early, but there was one plasma and one rocket, and it never really like overloaded us with those. And those are about the same power level, slightly different use cases. Nah, the plasma is probably more powerful, but more ammo limited. I don't know. I haven't done that spreadsheet. I'm not a big spreadsheet guy. I don't know if you've noticed. But then as long as your power level is flat, then you can set a difficulty curve that baselines at that power level, and you can reset that over and over for each of your branches. That's kind of the way to do it, you know? All right, let's see what's here at the end. I mean, so that one takes a certain kind of game, right? Like, that works, that is basically a Mega Man, is what I'm describing, where, you know, Mega Man is a non-linear game where you have a very flat power curve. You will always have the X-Buster, and like, you will get better weapons, but like, they're all unreliable in the sense that they have limited ammo. They are not unlimited the way that the X-Buster is. X-Buster? Mega Buster? I grew up on X. X was my first Mega Man. I am okay with this. There's nothing wrong with that. But it does this thing where each level has its own sort of difficulty curve as you go along. Each, you know, starts easy, ends with its own boss, whatever it wants to do. And each of the special weapons, their best use is when a boss, like they each have like a kind of a specific use, kind of like a Metroid ability. It's like, yeah, no, it's not necessarily opening a new door for you, but it is saying, hey, this is the one, this is the ability that lets you defeat this boss nearly trivially, depending on the boss pattern, depending on how the weapon works, depending on how vulnerable they are to it, because it's not always even, you know? There's a guy up there. Correction, there's no longer a guy. But like, Mega Man is kind of the way to do it. It's weird to do that in a game like Doom, though, because 7 weapons. Your power curve is important. It's, you know, we spend this whole time looking at imps and sergeants and pinkies, but our weapon, so this one, the difficulty curve the enemies are not novel. There's a small set of enemies, and how they feel differs depending on what our power curve is at, right? So the way that a Doom level normally works, which makes a non-linear in a game like this hard, is that you have these enemies that are like known quantities, and then your power curve shifts around them and makes them feel different. And then, you know, harder enemies appear. But there's kind of like, when you're at this point on the power curve, you might want to be looking at these kind of enemies, and depending on how you dole each of these things out as the author, you know, and the order that you dole them out is, that's, you know, is difficulty spikes or how difficult or easy an area is. Okay, so it would have to be a game like Doom where you only ever get like the pistol or the shotgun, and you don't see that a lot because the weapons are sort of characters, because we have such a small. The thing about, all right, let me try to focus here. The reason why Mega Man is very all of the levels feel novel, even though our power level, our power curve basically stays flat, and our difficulty curve resets every time, is, I've always taken it, because the levels is where all the novelty comes from. You have unique graphics, you have unique enemies, usually there is some sort of like environmental gimmick, whether that's wind or falling platforms or ladders and disappearing blocks. So it is that version of nonlinearity where your power curve stays flat, your difficulty curve just loops depending on which branch you choose to go down at a given time, and it stops. It doesn't feel flat because they each have their own novel gag to it, and the gag is what makes them feel different. Like, the gag is the part that makes them feel different, even though power curve is flat, so the same, and difficulty curve repeats, so is the same. And your novelty, the fact that every level has different enemies, you know, there are a couple of enemies that are repeat and are consistent. That's why Me Tools are kind of a mascot, because they're everywhere. But when you look at how many novel things they have, you know, different bosses, different enemies, in every one of these Doom mods we play, unless somebody goes out of their way to script new enemies, you end up with you're gonna fight a bunch of imps and like former humans and sergeants. Then they're gonna start mixing in revenants, and then there's gonna be like 3 barons and 5 mancubuses on pillars in your final boss room, right? This game just didn't come with a toolkit to have the enemies and the challenge difficulty curve be the novel part. But like a shotgun only run of this game would be really interesting to say, like, hey, here is how. Let me tell you, I would love an FPS that was basically a Mega Man, where power curve is flat, but difficulty curve and or some other gag novelty is what makes it unique. I would be happy with. That's kind of Instagib, right? People love an Instagib. Flat power curve. You kill in one hit, you die in one hit. And there's no other options. Flat power curve, then who you're playing with is your enemy difficulty curve, and the levels you're playing on is your novelty. That's how you do it, is you make Instagib. But how do you make an Instagib as a single player campaign? Or not even Instagib, but let's say shotgun only. Let's say one weapon single player. That's Mega Man. That's Mega Buster, baby. I love Mega Man. All right, I've talked enough. But that is the end to all of it. That if you ask me what is the way to do non-linear in a game like Doom, that is the way I would go. I would actually just do Mega Man. If I were to improve Doom, I would do Mega Man. No, if I were to, again, under the constraint of how do you flatten power curve, when like the normal given difficulty curve toolkit is also pretty shallow, right? There's kind of the difference between Mario and Doom. Mario power is shallow, Doom enemies is shallow, but power curves. Pop Fly Sliders, 1997. Let's watch Sliders. Is baseball baseball TV jokes. Okay, here's another occurrence of allowing the player to pace their own. This is probably a boss fight. Big groups of big enemies. Also after the big branching path, so unless they want to give us another like hub area at the bottom of this elevator, I'm going to take it for granted that this is basically the hallway to the boss or the boss rush, because we already fought a cyber demon, so what else are you gonna throw at us? 4 cyber demons locked in cages acting as big turrets. We saw that a couple of maps ago, right? Right. Oh, I'm feeling peachy anyway. Okay. Okay, do one of these have a fake wall that a BFG is behind? I feel like I'm missing out on something. I do. Oh, and it's open at the top. I do like this elevator. I do like a big. I like a big arena elevator. If you caught the bonus stream when I was playing Streets of Camarocho, I was talking about. Oh, dang you! I just need you to eat this. And I also need you to be the only one of them here, maybe? I'm on easy. This map is very well thought out, very well built. To go back a little bit, the sort of ledges that had the broken edges, that one of them you could get up on, I thought that was a really nice touch to, I thought that was a really nice touch just for like, a subtle way to put a secret, a subtle pathway. Also, the music just ended in a way that sounded intentional, so I guess the next level is the last level. Elevator arenas are a big thing of brawlers. I did not talk about it in Camarocho because I was talking more about advergaming, because it turns out that's what it was. But, oh. Hello. I'm just gonna... Is this the middle of the screen? Nope. Here. That guy exploded. Oh, which way are we supposed to go? Oh, this is neat. Okay. It's quiet. That's ominous. Hey, there's a reason I saved right there, because that... Obviously. That's the exit. Does that mean that there's like a fake ending and a true ending? Okay, which one of these do we think? That'll bring it down, because this will bring it up, because this is an elevator. Oh, this is all the way back to the start. In case there's something we missed, maybe, in case we want to go back and do something. Hey, remember the thing that I said I wanted to go back and do? Let's do that. Let's see if I can remember where that was. Wasn't this way? Also, there's like whole like field of view tinting into different areas. That's a nice touch. Okay, so we went this way. Was it this way? Yeah, over here. And down. And down. Oh, this was a different fall down. Right, it wasn't this. It was, well, unless it's this. No, this looks like another you can just fall down here kind of place. Maybe that's... Listen. Non-linear. There are options. It's fine. But that means to get to where I want to go right here. Just fall down into the well. One of these ways out of the well will leave the well. This way? Where did y'all come from? That's just a way that I never went. Okay. This is this area. A very tightly knitted together level. I do want to give it that. Or somehow tightly knitted together, even though it is comprised of a lot of big areas that are pretty impressive. This way then? This way then. What? No, this is somewhere... This is somewhere else? Man, if actually the secret is there's like a big area somewhere here that has opened now that like I face the final boss, and the idea is like, no, you should go and find it. That would be cool. That would be pretty cool. But I don't know if I'll do that because I'm totally like projecting, so I'm not going to try and find something that I'm purely guessing exists, not even assuming. Let's just go out there. I just want to hang out on this island real quick. I just want to... Because if it was me, if I put an island that you can see but actually cannot go to, I might put a message on there for somebody who turned on no clip and went all the way out here just to see it. Also, I just want to see it up close. I like being on places you were never intended to go. A lot of places like that end up being like unfinished areas in games, you know? This is just a wall. I see you could have written something right there and nobody would have seen it. Here's another. There is! I'm not going to pick it up, but okay. So somehow there's a way to get out here. I wonder if that's a teleport. I wonder if there's a specific, like, direction order you would have to walk through that would allow you to walk out here. But okay, that's where the BFG is. I was going to say, it's like the one thing we didn't get because it's all the way out here. Good. All right. Cool. Oh, would you have to, like, walk off this? I did not try to walk off this opening. Hey, no clip isn't sure what to do here. All right. It looks for a floor. All right, all right. Oh, and you can see it from here if my eyes were that good. Ooh, I did not notice. I noticed the people moving in the place further away. I did not notice that the cool gun was right there. Okay, I'll go here. Oh, hey, you want to just... I figured this would be the top of the level, but no, there's surface up here. Okay, you can just hang out up here. That's cool. I like that. There's this whole zone, which I don't believe to be... intentionally traversable. Whoa! Yeah, there we go. This is... Welcome to the Hall of Mirrors! Love this. Yeah, okay, so I don't think there was any way we were going to find a path up. Oh, yeah, now you can see the sky. All right, that's where the sky is. That's a... this is nice, broken, nice... These are nice, believable walls to look like a mountain and hide the fact that the ground touches the sky. Very good job here. Very good job here. All right, yeah, and just here's a little zone that... Wow. Whoa, hello. You'd never be able to get back here, but they put the... Whoa, okay, hang on. Okay, that's the skybox. This isn't the skybox. This is some trick of repeating the world. Whoa, okay. Okay, is there just a ring of water, but then is presented as infinite? That would be a pretty good trick. Where am I going? I'm just leaving, I guess. That would make a bunch of sense. And then it just pushes us somewhere over here because it doesn't know where we are. This is nice up here, actually. I like it up here. This is chill. Well, cool. Now that I've completely confused the no clip, and I've started to confuse myself on where I am. God, I don't know how you get out to that BFG. I want to find out. Well, I have a save right before the exit, so if I want to find out, I may open that back up and then go press against every wall, but I won't do that with y'all on the call. So, okay, so here's the thing that I've noticed is that a lot of times... Oh, this was that little secret. Wow, it was like a bridge out here? That's not a real... No, it's not. That bridge touches the ceiling. Okay. I did want to know, because you saw these guys out here. But a trick that I've seen a lot is that you will put, yeah, no, it's not real. Is that what you do is you put the imps, you put imps in these like turret pillars, right? This is essentially what this is. It's a place raised that they are stuck in because of height or gates or whatever, but where they can see you and shoot at you. And the reason why you always use imps here is because then you have the projectiles and you have time to see them travel before they get to you, so they're easier to kite, so that way they are a small pressure rather than an immediate threat. Also because imps don't drop anything, so you never like fool the player into saying like, oh look, that dude dropped the chain gun. You'll be able to get that chain gun later, I guess. Although there were some chain guns that dropped that I didn't get, so maybe it's more that first reasoning than the pick up unintentionally implied traversable space reasoning. That was a bunch of words. Yeah, no, this was really cool. I really... Hold on a second. Because that's this. Where is that compared to where we came in? Hello? I'll tell you what this is, because I've done it. It's like mechanical game logic. If you hide little pillars of floor that are adjacent to different things or not adjacent, or just for if you need some little reason for like, okay, I need this. This is a variable is what this is. This is a piece of geometry with a set floor and a set ceiling, and if you need something to hit that floor or ceiling, you can put it against this and you hide it in a wall somewhere and you make it tiny because it's not like you need to put people or items or anything in it. This is a geometric variable and I love seeing that stuff. Oh, was that another one? Oh, right there. I found a spot where I'm in the wall and I'm in the wall. Oh, I can't imagine how many of these are hidden around the map just like to do that logic stuff. I do that sometimes. I still can't think like that complex about these. Okay, yeah, so we start here, we walk here, and I'm guessing like, okay, so this is like, okay, so we come in sideways. So the actual like going out and the actual branching part of the map is over there, and then this is the hub. So we come in from the side, left is the branching, right is the final, and straight ahead is basically just the one secret? Alright, I'll believe that. But yeah, then we're out over here, we do the thing, and it drops. I've done this the long way. There we go! Oh, and there's water at the bottom. You know, because I want to know, because down here there was the second switch, which I imagine recalls this elevator if you get down here somehow. But that would imply there's some way to get down here without having ridden the elevator down, which then you could jump in here or something, but then you're stuck for good. Maybe it's just if you sent the elevator. I should see if I can make that happen without no clip. But, okay, the point is, we're here, and you walk out, and it fades out by the time you get there. And that's a dope level. I really enjoyed that level. Okay. So it was just as long as one big rant, so that's nice. And I think it did do kind of what I was talking about, right? And like, okay, we were playing on easy, but I feel like on a lot of like, my guess would be that because we were easy, the, you know, power curve of the areas was like short and down here and like relatively flat. But if we had changed the difficulty, it wouldn't have increased the curve. It would just raise the curve and like raise that window, right? I'm guessing. I'm also not particularly interested in finding out, but just to connect it to what we were talking about. That being said, all of the spaces felt unique. There were so many unique set pieces that were well designed and well executed. That big round room, I thought that was fantastic. The well area, the beachfront area, all of those areas were good. They weren't too long. They were short enough. The sewer area, I don't like sewer areas, but the way it was used to connect to areas and even had like secrets in itself, it was well designed. It was short enough. This, I love the length of this. I think it hit like a sweet spot of complexity. Just well thought out, well executed. The technical bits, you know, I was talking about the bridges, I was talking about those Star Trek auto doors. I still can't get over that round room and the way that that one was designed to be like, you will face half of it coming in and the other half will be the trap, and it's symmetrical, so whichever side you come in on, it'll work that it'll still work with that switch over. I thought that was a really clever way to design the space. I was really impressed by that. This is cool. I like this. I would tell people to play this. If you, I haven't talked about this in a while, but the idea of like, you know, is a good WAD, if a good WAD also needs to be sort of like widely recommendable, if we want to look at that as like a way to measure WADs, then I would say this is a really good one, because you don't need to have like ingrained context of Doom in order to enjoy this map, but also the sort of execution of it and the thought behind it is at a higher level than that, like sort of like you can tell is built on sort of like Doom, and even some really good use of like vertical space in a way that makes me that felt more like a Quake level. And we could argue about, is Quake better than Doom, or is that a bad comparison, because once you're getting outside of Doom constraints, you know, if part of the charm of Doom is its constraints, then is it fair to say that something that isn't so constrained is just by default better? It's like, well, no, because then it doesn't have that charm because it's not constrained. And like, that's like a whole philosophical argument that you could have. But you don't really need to know anything going in. It wasn't so much for like it wasn't doing anything interesting. A challenge didn't really have like gag monster closets or anything like that, but it had great spaces. And when you're doing the nonlinear, and kind of the thing you can go about is the different places that you're non-linearly going to need to be unique and novel to each other. Even if the sort of challenge is not unique and novel, the places need to be unique and novel to each other. And I think this one definitely hit that on the head. this was cool. This was fantastic. If you're watching on the YouTube, I'll put a link to download this WAD, and you should play this one. This is cool. I am gonna go figure out how to get to that BFG, because BFG Hidden Island, which I had just in no clip exploring, I had just become convinced that those islands were purely decorational. But no, you can get to that one somehow. How? I want to. Perhaps I need to know. But I'll do that off camera. Thank you all for joining me. Again, I want to remind you, if you stuck with me this far, then you might enjoy coming and watching me play games for Extra Life half a month from now, just over 2 weeks. And as always, stay home as much as you can. If you have to go out, wear a mask, wash your hands often. You should be doing that whether there's a pandemic on or not. Raise the voices of those who are being kept from speaking for themselves, and the rule that underlines all of these is take care of one another. I'll catch you next time. Oh boy, I hit the wrong hotkeys. Ah!